A very good morning from Manchester Airport's Terminal 2, where today I'm recording the first of 5 episodes in a mini-series I've christened Piddly Planes on Piddly Routes. Why am I doing this and what it's all about? Let's get through security and I'll explain everything on why I'm doing this in November. So why do airlines fly long-hauled, wide-body planes on short routes? Well, there's a number of reasons why. One is the obvious passenger or cargo loadings. The other reason could be fifth freedom flights. So a non-European airline, for instance, flies into Europe and then flies another flight within Europe. They can sell the seats on that inter-European leg, of which we're doing later on this month. Another reason is repatriation flights. So an airline's gone bust, for instance, so they fly large aircraft on short haul. Another one is familiarisation flights. So an airline's had a brand new type of aircraft. They want to get the pilots and cabin crew used to it before it does its long haul duties. So they fly within Europe. Today's flight is scheduled for a reason. It's passenger loading. It's a little bit controversial. I'll get to the gate and I'll explain who we're flying with and why they put this aircraft on this route. I'm sure you've guessed now we're flying on the Irish national carrier Aer Lingus today. And they've put on an A330-300 between here in Manchester and Dublin, 317 seats on a 35-minute flight. We're doing it. So there she is. We're at the wrong gate because we're not technically on a domestic flight, but it's an 8-year-old A330-300. It's Aer Lingus' largest aircraft in their Airbus fleet, and it's taking me for half an hour over the pond, no, not a pond, is it? What is it? Over the puddle from here in Manchester to Dublin. But why are they flying an A330 today? Well, the reason is a bit controversial. So obviously we've got Aer Lingus, the Irish carrier, but there is a UK subsidiary called Aer Lingus UK, which are based here in Manchester, and they operate routes long haul wise to New York, Orlando and Barbados. This week they've been on industrial action, the cabin crew, so flights have been suspended, pause, what you're going to call it, and what happened is Aer Lingus have decided this week and possibly in the future, because there's more strike dates announced, solidarity with the workers, they've upgraded or put on additional flights from Dublin to Manchester and vice versa to try and clear the backlog of passengers caught up in the industrial action. So yesterday that was going to happen. So like I say, with Sunday today, the 3rd November today, isn't it? 2nd November, whatever. And yesterday should have been an A330 as well, but it was downgraded to an A321 Neo XLR, which I'm flying back on. But I think, was it Tuesday or Wednesday and Thursday that they did fly an A330-200. So yeah, Aer Lingus are flying, like I say, a 317-seater aircraft on what on average is a 35-minute flight, and we're going to see how fast this actually takes. I've got to go the other way. I thought we were down this pier. We are down this pier, but because it's a domestic route, it's downstairs. So let's get to the gate and let's get to Dublin on a 317-seater plane for 35 minutes. As I'm waiting for the bus, I look glowing. When we get to Dublin, I'll explain how much I paid for this, because it's obviously a return flight, but it was really, really cheap. The cheapest of all 5 legs I'm doing this month, and probably the shortest as well. But when we get to Dublin, let's get on the bus, let's get to my seat, I'll see you there. Welcome on board the Piddly plane on the Piddly route, Aer Lingus' largest aircraft, A330-300, taking me over to Dublin. Looking forward to this. I'll see you over there. many passengers are on board this day?
187.
187. Thank you very much. We're in Dublin. And here we have it. We have landed. Again, but a fantastic flight. 40 minutes it took us from Manchester to Dublin on a 317-seater aircraft with, like the cabin crew said, about 187 people on board, including the flight deck crew and cabin crew. There you go, and there's your first episode of Bigly Planes on Piddly Routes done. Now that cost me £61 return. That included the seat selection, which I've chosen as well on the way back. But 61 quid return, so we'll say £30.50 to fly an A330-300 for 40 minutes. Not bad, is it? Great experience with Aer Lingus, despite the delay. It doesn't bother me. There were a lot of connecting passengers that were a little bit stressed when we got to Dublin, but for me, through passport, easy as pie. The next episode is coming from that London. That's not for another few weeks. I'm off now to find my premiere in for the night. I'm flying back tomorrow on an Airbus A321 XLR. Like I say, I won't film that, but there'll be some clips at the end of this just to show what it's all about. But from the first of 5 instalments of Piddly Planes on Piddly Routes, see you soon.